Greetings and salutations everyone, Crimson Nero here, and welcome back to Let's Play Mega Man 2. In the last episode, we took on the second half of the Wily robots, and in this episode, we're taking the battle straight to Wily, again, for the second time. Because this is a sequel, and a good one at that. Ah yes, Wily Castle Theme 1, oh boy, or Wily Stage 1. One of the most iconic pieces of music ever composed in the NES library. This song has seen so many different remixes over the years. Heck, it's still getting some because it's a really good song. This song rocks so hard. It's awesome. Really gets you all pumped up for the impending battle, the upcoming duel with Dr. Wily. See, not only did Dr. Wily come back with a vengeance, but also, he came back with a vengeance and one-upped himself from the previous game. Yeah, he might not have the Yellow Devil or anything like that this time around. Trust me, we'll get to some of the bosses in a little bit. But, just think about it. Mega Man stopped Dr. Wily the first time, and in the first game, there were only 6 Robot Masters. There wasn't any Time Man or Oil Man until the remake of Mega Man Powered Up, which I already did an LP of. But in Mega Man 2, that is where the real formula really set itself in stone. 8 Robot Masters, take them all down, use their weaknesses against themselves, and do awesome stuff. Become the Blue Bomber, become the Mega Man. But yeah, just Dr. Wily coming back with 8 different Robot Masters, this time of his own creation, instead of actually stealing Dr. Light's robots like he did in Mega Man 1. But Wily stages though. The Wily stages in Mega Man 2 are just as legendary as pretty much the rest of the entire game. I do have a few issues with some of the later parts of Wily Castle, but overall, it's pretty darn good. It definitely will require you to use pretty much every single thing in your arsenal. There are a couple situations where you might not use like one Robot Master weapon over another, but I can definitely assure you that you're going to be using some of the Robot Master weapons, as well as all 3 items. Item number 1, item 2, and item 3. You're going to be using all of them. We've been using some of them already in this stage, including item 1 and item 3. And item 2 we're going to be using in the next stage, if I remember correctly. But we gotta focus, because actually we're already at the boss, surprisingly enough. Wily Stage 1 is really not that long of a stage. Now this section becomes immediately difficult because, yeah, the Meicha Dragon just spawns up out of nowhere, and if he touches you before you get to this group of blocks right here, it will insta-kill you. I don't know why. Not a huge fan of it, but, I mean, it's not like there's really anywhere to land if you know, get hit or anything. But still, though, I would have much rather appreciated that I just get knocked, taken some knockback damage, and potentially fall into a pit, maybe even catch myself if possible, rather than instantly dying. But hey, actually, when it comes to getting ahead of the Meicha Dragon, you want to make sure that you're constantly going pretty much almost ahead of the actual platform spawning. And after a while, you're going to actually make it to pretty much the right side of the screen, and you'll have to actually wait for some of the blocks to actually spawn. I said actually a real large number of times just now, but anyways, Meicha Dragon, really not that hard, especially if you just spam quick boomerang. Just go through it and you're good. There's also a lot of spots in Wily Castle that give you different points that you can grind for different pickups. So if you're running low on health or weapon ammo, heck, you may even get an extra life or 2. Yeah, I would suggest just finding those spots and definitely using them, especially when it comes to weapon energy. Wily Castle, even though certain areas do allow you to get quite a substantial amount of weapon energy back, I do suggest making sure that you definitely pay attention to how much you're actually consuming, especially when it comes to one item. Well, definitely make sure that you have ample amounts of ammunition for item 1, item 2, and item 3, because you'll be using them to traverse through Wily Castle. But also, you will want to make sure that you always have Crash Bomb at the max. Also, having the metal blades as well would also be a very good idea. But yeah, as you just saw, there was a nice little section there that if you jump earlier, you will have it will be a safer result, but you'll have to use Crash Bomber 3 times in order to progress. If you risk it for the biscuit and stay on item 2 longer so that you can get to the shorter ladder, you'll be amply rewarded with all kinds of goodies. And the goodies continue if you manage to keep the Crash Bomber with you, which I have. So I am rewarded by getting another extra life and another E-Tank. Yeah, you can actually go into Wily Castle pretty much almost completely unprepared, and you can come out of it with more lives than you need and even more E-Tanks than you might need. I mean, obviously, this isn't a complete walk in the park. There is some difficulty to it, but it's not absolutely impossible, regardless of whether you have tons of E-Tanks and extra lives or not. Ah, yes, and here we are again. The hallway of moles. Yes, these enemies are called moles, and oh man, I'm trying to actually remember how many different Mega Man games these guys actually appear in, because I know that Mega Man 2 is like the easy example. I think they may appear in like Mega Man X. I feel like I'm rather incorrect about that statement, though. But yeah, regardless of how many times that the moles actually show up, I consider them to be a pretty iconic enemy, especially when it comes to Mega Man 2, considering that I think they show up twice in this game. Because they showed up in Metal Man's stage, right? And they show up here too. If I was playing normal mode, this hallway, there we go, this hallway would be filled to the brim with different large pickups for both weapon energy and life. Wait, did I start out Wily Castle with 3 lives and I'm already up to 7 lives? Wow. I'm just gonna make sure that all my weapons are stocked up. I might not need to max out on life, but yeah, I might go for it if I really want to. I am really more focused on weapon energy. That's what you really want to focus on. Yeah, keeping every single weapon as topped off as possible is definitely very much recommended from yours truly. Some people would decide to, you know, just absolutely blaze a trail through this place and not necessarily worry about making sure that their ammo count is all the way at the maximum. But yeah, as long as you have items 1, 2, and 3 at the ready, pretty much at max at all times, then you're pretty good for the most part. And make sure that you have Crash Bomber. Like I said before, Crash Bomber is absolutely required. I'll go into a little bit of that later on, but just a second friendly reminder. If you're playing Mega Man 2 and you haven't played it before, if you get to this point, just items 1, 2, and 3, and Crash Bomber. That's all you need to worry about. Everything else is just extra stuff on the top. I would recommend having everything else, but hey, whatever floats your boat. If you feel like spamming metal blades until the cows come home, then hey man, that's on you. This is a rather small arena. Wonder what the boss is like. The walls have eyes! Or ears, or... The walls are alive? The walls are alive with the sound of boss battles. You know, actually, when I was younger, I originally thought that you couldn't stand on the floor where the different boss parts come out. So I was really, really anxious whenever I played Mega Man 2 and it got to this point, because I thought that, like, I was just gonna drop into a bottomless pit if I didn't stand on, like, the center platform that's still bright pink. But luckily, that is not the case. Man, that would make this fight way more difficult. Man, you just gotta love Wily Castle's little jingle in between stages. I did not necessarily mean to drop down here, but let's just try to get back up so I can get that E-Tank, because I would really like it. That would be nice. I would appreciate it. Yeah, in Mega Man 2, they introduced the E-Tank, but they only allowed you to carry 4 at a time, which honestly is definitely enough for this game. However, in Mega Man 3 and onward, they decided, you know what, just give them all of them. Just give them all the E-Tanks. I think in Mega Man 7, they limited you to 4 E-Tanks at a time again. But definitely in some of the middle Mega Man games, I think like 3 through 6, they just decided, here, just have all the E-Tanks, just hold 9 at a time. Oh hey look, it's kind of like that section in Bubble Man stage all over again. That is a giant fish. That is one really big fish, and I think they only show up in this stage for a very short amount of time. Like right there too. They just want to make friends. They're just like, hi, welcome to Wily Castle. Do you want to stay? We can be friends. I don't know why he sounds like Kermit the Frog.
Hey man, it's not easy being green. You must follow the rainbow connection. Mega Man, you must go defeat Dr. Wily.
that would be the day, is if Dr. Light, the Santa Claus that he is, just started talking like Kermit the Frog. I'd be okay with that. It would be really hard to take him seriously, but at the same time, I'd be totally okay with it. Alright, let's see. What is the third boss we shall be taking on? Oh wow, this guy looks big and impressive. No, seriously, this is the Guts Dozer! Yeah, for those of you who are not aware, yeah, Dr. Wily really likes Guts Man a lot. There was an entire section of Mega Man 1 where it was just a long hallway after beating the boss rush, where it was just, the ceiling was just made entirely out of statues of Gutsman. It was really crazy. I don't remember if they had that same aesthetic in Mega Man Powered Up. I don't think they did, because they changed up the level design a little bit for Powered Up. But yeah, if you're playing the NES version of Mega Man 1, then you can see the hallway of Gutsman. Gutsman's pretty cool, but Gutsman in the Battle Network games, oh boy, that design is awesome. Then again, pretty much almost every single NetNavi in the Battle Network series looks really cool, especially if they're a redesign of a previous Robot Master. Nah, man, I cannot wait to eventually get around to LPing the Battle Network games. I'm a big fan of every single Mega Man spin-off. From the classic series to X to Zero to ZX to Legends to Star Force and Battle Network. I love all of them. Just give me more Mega Man. And luckily, Capcom did just that by giving us Mega Man 11. Yeah, so definitely want to make sure that your platforming is, at least, you're platforming carefully enough in this section, but it's really not that bad. Just use Bubble Lead, and you're good. If you want to grab that E-Tank, you totally can, but if you fall down into the spots where the Mets are, and don't really feel like you can totally jump the gaps without hitting your head on the ceiling, just fall down below, and then just use item 1 or item 3 to make yourself a little platform, and then just jump your way up. Oh, hey, look, a room where we can actually use the Leaf Shield in a way that isn't just fighting Airman. There are many shield weapons in the classic series, but definitely the Leaf Blade is it's probably one of the better ones. At least like middle of the road to on the good side. Yeah, Leaf Shield, pretty good. Very useful for this section, because you just stand on the moving platform, and all you have to do is really just worry about platforming instead of having to worry about all the tellies that are around. Because trust me, those things would definitely knock you into the spikes. And we don't want that, especially considering we are actually really far into Wily Castle already. Yeah, Wily Castle 4, or Wily Stage 4. Definitely not my favorite level of the game. I mean, so far, things have been fine, but once we get to the section that comes after this, and even extending into the boss fight, I start to have some issues. Yes, I will admit, as much as I love Mega Man 2, it is not a perfect game. Heck, there are no perfect games. I will admit that. I know that for a fact. Trust me, making games is really hard. Making good games is especially hard. But then there's spots like this section. So far, so good. You know, nothing we haven't seen before. Large open area where we can fight against the Sniper Joe and his giant walker. I mean, that was just me being unable to, you know, platform properly. But that Sniper Joe there with a low ceiling like that, there is almost no way that you are not going to get hit. Oh, really? Oh, no. No. Not dealing with this. Not today. Get away. All right. And we've made it to the boss. So really not too bad, honestly, when it came to getting here, but here is where I have my issues. And pretty much where everybody has their issues when it comes to Mega Man 2. This boss, aka the Booby Trap, I'm not kidding. This one, I do not like this boss. I think it's a nice idea, but there's issues with it. Mainly because of its connection with its weakness, which is Crash Bomber. Crash Bomber has a limited number of shots that you can use. I think 7 is the max. And yeah, this boss is only weak to the Crash Bomber. And you need to use the Crash Bomber in order to break some of these walls so you can make it to some of the turrets. And if you mess up at least once, if you mess up at all and misfire a shot, you have to start all the way over again. You literally respawn at the beginning of that hallway that we just went through and have to grind up weapon energy from the Sniper Joes just so you can have even a single chance at fighting the Booby Trap again. Yeah, definitely my least favorite boss of the entire game. And it's the sad thing is that it is pretty much the only major black spot on an otherwise phenomenal game. Now, what's different about Mega Man 2 compared to Mega Man 1 when it comes to refighting the Robot Masters is that in the original NES version of Mega Man 1, you fought the Robot Masters throughout Wily Castle 1, or the first Wily Castle. In Mega Man 2 and onwards, they decided, and even in Powered Up, they decided that you should fight all of them all in a row, back to back, within one stage. Sometimes certain Mega Man games make you refight all these bosses in a single stage before the final bosses. Sometimes they expect you to go up against the final bosses directly after the Robot Master refights in the same stage. Hence why it's really important that you know, keep your weapons ready and full of ammo, as well as making sure that you have a lot of E-tanks, if all possible. It's definitely possible to go through all the refights without having to use any E-tanks at all. It's really fun fighting Quickman because just you fight him normally for like the first half, and then you can just stop time and he's done. And of course, good old Metal Blade works wonders as usual. You know what? I'm actually just gonna keep going around the circle. I started at one end. I'm gonna go all the way around. Now I could use Atomic Fire on Woodman as well, but I could save it to go up against the boss at the end of the stage. Oh, hi, Airman. Well, I guess you're just gonna be that way, aren't you? Fine, you come to me. You come to me. Unfortunately, I did not get that health pickup. Alright, Heat Man. You know, your pattern is actually somewhat easy, but, you know, sometimes I just... Ow. Man, I took a lot of damage by running into him, jeez. Anyways, as I was trying to say, He-Man's pattern is kinda easy once you realize when you need to jump, really. See, now we're making some progress. Ugh. As I get overzealous and start jumping around like a lunatic. Oh yeah, actually, Bubble Lead is another weapon that you want to make sure that you have stocked up. Preferably to full at any given time. Alright, Wily Machine 2! Metal Blades for days! Let's go! So, the first form of Wily Machine can be easily taken care of by using Atomic Fire. Second form is weak to Crash Bomb. You know, that thing that you used up completely in order to get here. So, yeah, use Metal Blades. Man, I could not even tell how much health he had, nor how many Metal Blades I still had. And that's one thing that's a bit of a criticism about Mega Man 2, is that there is a ton of sprite flickering. Yeah, I know it's the NES, but man, there's a lot of sprite flickering. And also the boss explosions, or like the boss like destruction effects, how like it constantly just blinks black and white on the screen, can be rather obnoxious, if not even harmful, depending on if people out there have are very susceptible to rapidly flashing colors or rapidly flashing lights. All right, the final battle against the real Wily. Let's do this. Wait a minute, Dr. Wily was a space alien the whole time? Dr. Wily was a space alien the whole time?! And he's weak to bubble lead. Yeah, so, this is pretty much, the final boss fight in a nutshell. Dr. Wily, or Alien, I'll say. Alien, not the movie, just the boss here. The alien will go around in a figure 8 pattern, and we'll just shoot out bullets. They do a lot of damage, as you saw by me getting hit that one time, but hopefully we will not increase the number of hits we take. Also, if you make direct contact with him, you will take even more damage. Sometimes I actually kind of forget where exactly the bullets are compared to where the stars are in the background, so if I start jumping around like crazy, then I do apologize, but sometimes I just kind of lose track of myself. Oh yeah, here's another thing. So the alien, as you see, yeah, bubble lead's doing pretty good against him. It's his weakness after all. It's also the only thing that can damage him. Oh hey, look, Dr. Wily was actually just, you know, just piloting a hologram. Still really cool though. But yeah, when it comes overall, Mega Man 2 is absolutely fantastic, but when it gets to the booby trap and then the alien fight, those two bits irk me. They irk me. They bother me because of the fact that they are only weak to one specific weapon. And that's actually, that's not the only thing. Alien is not only weak to the bubble lead, but also everything else heals him. That's the big problem. If you know what his weakness is, you're fine. If you don't, you basically just try everything until you use bubble lead. And if you're out of bubble lead, then you gotta get a game over and try again at the start of the level, which honestly is just a single corridor, but still though. And then there's this section. I don't really have any big problems with it. It just kind of, it happens. It's a nice little cutscene of just like Mega Man like walking through the seasons, but it just kind of comes out of nowhere. I don't know why. It's cool, but it just comes out of nowhere. But with that, we have defeated Dr. Wily for a second time. And now it's time for the ending credits! Woo! Mega Man 2! This game is absolutely fantastic, despite a few little issues with some bosses in the very late game. Booby Trap and Alien both suffer from the same exact problems of them being only weak to one specific thing, and them being weak to things that might put you at a complete disadvantage, either from lack of weapon ammo or from, you know, just being healed by everything else. If both bosses were at least weak to the Mega, or not weak to, but at least could be damaged by other weapons, heck, even just the Buster, I would feel much more confident about Mega Man 2 as a absolutely whole complete package. Do those two bosses completely ruin the game for me? Absolutely not. I really adore this game. I love it. I'm so happy by all the people who are shown off in the credits here, because they made Mega Man 2 in their free time while they worked on other Capcom projects, and that shows just how dedicated they are to Mega Man as a property. And with the sales of this game, it helps solidify Mega Man as an absolute icon on the NES for years to come. There's a reason why he's still celebrated 30 years after his inception, and why people wanted a new classic Mega Man game, which is exactly what we got with Mega Man 11. If you haven't played any sort of Mega Man game, give Mega Man 2 a try. Play on normal mode if you need to. It is a great way to get newcomers into the franchise, and if you enjoy Mega Man 2, I highly recommend that you get every other Mega Man game out there. The two Legacy collections available on pretty much every modern day platform of the current console generation are definitely worth your time. Get the Legacy collections, play Mega Man 2, have a fun time, and just enjoy what the Blue Bomber has to offer. Is Mega Man 2 absolutely perfect and flawless? No. I do have a few issues, which I did touch upon, but it is still a fantastic game, and I highly recommend it. If you love Mega Man, you pretty much love this game too. So, I hope that you all have enjoyed this Let's Play, because it's time to go. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Mega Man 2. Let's Play Mega Man 2. I'm Crimson Nero. Thank you very much for watching this episode, and until next time, everyone, fare thee well.